Welcome. Today we're going to be taking a look at the 5 reasons why your shoulders aren't growing and some quick fixes for you to try immediately. Reason number 1 is too much of an emphasis on overhead pressing. Now, that's not to say that overhead pressing is bad, but when it comes to building muscle, particularly shoulder width, it's not just about lifting a heavy weight or performing compound exercises. It's more about putting the muscle that you want to train into the best position to be working against the load that you're using. So at best, an overhead press might be a decent front delt exercise, but with the way that most people do it, with the elbows flared out really wide, that's not really that great for the front delt either. The best position for overhead pressing for shoulders should have your elbows tucked at roughly this 45-ish degree angle here in front of the body. I still think overhead pressing is a pretty decent exercise overall, but I think we should be smarter about where we program them. I much prefer putting them later in a workout, and when I'm focusing on bringing up my shoulder width, focusing on other movements first. If you want to do them in a way that maximizes the muscle building stimulus, try a high incline dumbbell press with tucked elbows. This will put the front delt into a much better position and range of motion to be able to work, but it still won't be a great width exercise. So reason number 2 is performing width exercise like lateral raises out to the side, as opposed to bringing your arms slightly forwards into the scapular plane. The most common exercise you can think of for shoulders would be this side raise here. Similar to an overhead press, it's not really bad, but it's putting your traps and neck into a really good position to contribute a lot to the movement, and the side delts aren't actually going to be in ideal alignment. It's why you often hear people use the cue like, imagine you're pouring out of a jug of water at the top of the exercise in an effort to put the side delt here into better alignment. Because in an upright position like this, there'll always be the natural tendency to rotate outwards, which puts the front delt into a slightly better position. So performing a Y raise on an incline bench or with your body tilted forward slightly helps to put your side delt into better alignment without having to think about this whole pouring water cue, and it puts your traps and neck into a less favorable position to contribute as much. So you won't get them dominating the movement so much, but they'll still be able to work on providing stability to your shoulders and shoulder blades. Seriously, if you haven't tried out this variation, you really don't know what you're missing out on. I spent years doing raises straight out to the sides, but it wasn't since I started using this variation maybe 5 or 6 years ago that my shoulders really started to grow like never before. And it's the only way that I recommend doing lateral raises now in nearly all of my programs and workouts. By the way, in case you didn't know, I have a program library filled with over a dozen 12-week programs for a variety of goals and training backgrounds, and hundreds of additional workout add-ons. I also have a macro calculator, nutrition tracker, and progress tracker, and educational content on training, nutrition, and so much more available for you on my website and app, Ganbaru Method. If you want a free trial to check it all out, hit the link in the description box below. This isn't some generic white-labeled training app that you see from a lot of people in the fitness industry. This is something that I've been building out from scratch and is continually being updated by me and my development team to bring you the best possible experience. All right, next up, I'm going to group reasons 3 and 4 together here as they're kind of related and might seem kind of contradictory as well. Reason number 3 is using too much momentum, and reason number 4 is not going heavy enough. Because when you think of a lot of your shoulder exercises, such as your raises and all these different angles, 2 things come to mind. We often see a lot of people loosely throwing their entire body weight around to help them move the weight, and they're also movements where it's really hard to go heavy because they're very isolated movements. Momentum decreases the amount of work required by your muscles to work against the weight you're using, so we really need to focus a lot more on being strict with our technique. I always emphasize a pause at the top of all of my reps and aim to lower the weight down across 3 to 4 seconds at a minimum. But of course, when you do this, you'll find it really difficult to use any real weight, especially for shoulders. Lifting a heavy weight, again, isn't the main goal, but it is important to be able to expose our muscles to a heavy stimulus from time to time, as this can help with the rate at which your body recruits muscle fibers. So what can we do here? Instead of sticking with sets of 8 to 12 to 15 on raises, I like to incorporate heavy sets of 3 to 6 reps, and to incorporate techniques like eccentric overload reps, where I'll assist myself in some way on the way up, and then make the lowering portion more challenging. Another really useful technique is to use cluster sets. So take something like a 5-rep max, and instead of performing 5 reps with it, perform 3 or 4 mini sets of 2 reps, with about 5 seconds between each set. That allows me to do 6 to 8 reps with a heavier weight than I could have done previously, and it helps me maintain really good form on the exercise. Those 2 are probably my favorite techniques to really level up your shoulder workouts. All right, so reason number 5 is not performing rows for rear delts. The most common exercise you see people in the gym doing for their rear delts is reverse flies, and often in the reverse chest fly machine. The problem with most machines here is they force you into this really high elbow position, which doesn't allow you to pull your arm back as far as possible behind your body. This motion here is really important to take your rear delt through their full range of motion. To do this, you need to have your elbow tucked at around this 45-ish degree angle. It'll be a bit different for every single person, but you'll be able to find it pretty quickly. Then, all you need to do is find and hit this position on rows, and I guarantee you they're going to start growing. Alright, that's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video and learned something useful. If you have anything to add, drop me a comment down below and let me know. And if you want to follow any of my programs, use the link in the description to get that free trial to Ganbare Method, which again is my training and education and coaching platform where you can access absolutely everything. So, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you all next time.